So this is our having a bad day video. And one of the things that Chris just came in from the snow, and I asked him how the filming went for the tarot card, the death card that Ingrid was doing at the cemetery. And I just had a really bad feeling that I didn't want to go. So they went themselves because miraculously a client that I had forgotten about showed up.
Miraculously.
Miraculously, I was protected. So anyway, Chris walks in the door and I'm like, well, Chris, how did it go? And he said terrible. And I thought he was
didn't believe me at first.
All right, so tell us your story.
So Ingrid and I went to go film the death card in the cemetery, which even 3 or 4 days ago when we started talking about doing this, Mary was a little against, and she unconsciously and unknowingly booked herself an appointment with someone and prevented her from coming on the field trip with us. So Ingrid and I got there and it went great. We literally got in and out in about 10 minutes, and we get into the car and the car doesn't start. So we're sitting there in the cold for at least another 45 minutes to an hour, freezing, no car, not knowing how we're gonna get back. And finally, the nice caretaker at Willowbrook Cemetery came in and gave us a jump start, and we were on our way. So I thought that could be the end of things, and we came back, and Ingrid didn't want to get out of the car and shut her car off so she wouldn't get stuck again. So I came back up into Mary's house to get her stuff. And now this bag that I had to come get contains all of Ingrid's artwork, and it actually prevented us from filming one day because it was raining outside and she didn't want to bring her artwork out. That's how important it is to us. So I grabbed the bag and I go down the stairs, and my feet slip out from under me on the ice and they go up overhead, and I take a spill, and all of Ingrid's artwork is filled with snow inside the bag. And I'm wondering if I picked something up at the cemetery, if there's some kind of entity attached to me that's causing this bad day.
All right, so I have this terminology called hungry ghosts. And hungry ghosts are spirit entities that hang around cemeteries, or, if somebody has bad vibes, maybe he's like a hungry ghost. He just drains and sucks all our energy. You're sitting next to someone that you never met at a dinner party, and you're so exhausted, you don't know why. Why did this suddenly happen after you were feeling so good? So sometimes people are like hungry ghosts. They just suck your energy. And sometimes it's thought forms that are like hungry ghosts, and sometimes literally spirits that are hanging out. And so I just had a feeling that I didn't want to go to the cemetery because I didn't want to get a hungry ghost attached to me. Everything's going great in life. I don't want any strange energy connecting to me. So fortunately I didn't have to go to the cemetery, but what had happened to Chris and Ingrid, she was going to film at the grave of her relatives. And it's either their attachment to her or just energies or entities hanging out in the cemetery. And they use an opening into the energy body of a person in the environment, especially someone who's psychic and open, and they can create problems. And so the car is dying. Now they're filming the death card, and now the car dies. The battery dies, symbolic of the body dying, and they're just stuck there. And if it wasn't for the caretaker, they might still be there. So that was the first incident that there was something happening. And of course, Ingrid and Chris didn't put much credence into my resistance of not going, but I was protected. And then, Chris is a martial artist. He doesn't fall, and he doesn't fall down the stairs. Okay, the stairs are a little bit icy because we have such bad weather, but still, he's been up and down my stairs many times, and this was truly an accident. And Ingrid guards her original artwork, guards it, and she's so careful with it. So for her to have it spoiled is devastating. So So, okay, so now we have Chris coming into my house. Now, does he get some bad vibes or hungry ghosts? Or is this just going to stay attached to him, not affect me, and plague him during the day?
Or am I just clumsy?
Well, if we could say yes, you are, except for the battery dying. There was some psychic interference.
There was a little more than just one or two separated instances. There were a couple different things that make it a little more than just random.
Right. And so, in this case, what we have to do is clear Chris. So just in case, and you can do this, say, you know, you just don't like your boss or a coworker and they just always make you feel terrible. It's like your stomach aches, your gut hurts after you're with somebody. Or, you know, it's like everything's going around fine and some catastrophe happens. So let's just say we need to put your day back into balance. What's the first thing? Now, one of the things that the American Indians do is that they light some sage and they would smoke a person. And, you know, you would just go around the whole body of a person, you know, from all the way from head to toe, front and back. So you're going down this way, you're going back down the back, down the sides. And it's very important when you smoke anyone that there's an open window and open door, because say there is a hungry ghost, where is it going to go? It's going to go somewhere, and I don't want it hiding out in some corner of my house. But also when you're smoking a house, you want to open a window or a door so all the negative energy can leave. And you know, the next thing is, like, if I were going into a cemetery, these are some rosary beads blessed by a famous healer in Brazil named John of God, and they're very powerful. So find a spiritual symbol. It doesn't have to be a rosary bead. It could be the Star of David, you know, just something that connects to you and your spiritual beliefs as a symbol of protection. And this is a sword. This is called a kris, and in Indonesian, Javanese mythology, Malaysian mythology, a kris can be a symbol of protection. Their mythology says a kris protects you from fire, flood, death, and is also a manifestation of soul energy, of some higher power. So it's good to have something that symbolizes your protection. This is Ganesh. He's the protector, removal of obstacles. And amethyst. You know, many people carry an amethyst with them. And in the American Indian mythology, they felt that amethyst will protect them from evil spirits. And we've all heard of comments about the evil eye. You know, we want to be protected from the evil eye. That comes up in many stories in Eastern Europe, especially. So there's something to that. People can project negative intentions onto you that affect your life. And so the other thing you can do is spray a person, spray an environment. This is a spray mist called Bali Temple Flowers. It's blessed by the priests in Bali, and it's very sacred. So we want something sacred. You can, if you're Christian, you can use holy water. You know, you can use seawater. You can make a scented water with, especially cedarwood is wonderful for psychic protection, sandalwood. So you have to think that our world is more energetic than it is physical. And there are energies or entities, vibes, you know, other people's vibes that affect us. And when things start going wrong, you can meditate on a candle, you can ask Ganesh for protection, you can use a crystal ball, a sword, and some spray. You know, do something to right yourself, to rebalance yourself.